Alright, hi guys. Time check. It's already 3:26 a.m. in the morning. Good morning sa inyong lahat. So, kaka-live ko lang kanina, no? And, nagtataas siguro kayo. Um, ba't ako ulit mag-live? Kinda, well, this is something na I can say it's critical, no? Na pag-usapan natin. So, okay. Ito. When I say self-preservation, what comes into your mind? Kasi we might have different definition of preserving ourselves, 'di ba? And usually sa iba't ibang mga aspeto 'yun. Not only like physical, emotional, career, mga ganun, to that effect. So, here, kasi by definition, self-preservation is defined of oneself from harm or destruction. Right? Yun. So, magdadwell muna tayo dun sa part na yun. It usually happens kapag yung instinct natin is parang, wait. Parang tagilid ako dito. Sa iba't ibang aspeto. Again, sa iba't ibang aspeto. Usually, I use this term usually sa work. Kasi when I use self-preservation in terms of work, work usually affects physical aspect, emotional, and mental health, mental aspect, or your well-being. At some point, nagbabranches out pa yan sa iba't ibang aspects. So, yun. Saka, part ng definition is, self-preservation, it's being triggered by our instinct kapag exposure to excessive loads of stress. That's the key. That leads to burnout, depression, and emotional anxiety. So yun. What's the reason why I am opening this up? The term self-preservation. Kasi based dun sa definition, it's commonly used kapag, of course, there's gonna be physical harm, right? Sabi dun sa definition kanina. Physical harm or destruction. That usually the case. Kung, of course, lalo ngayon, 'di ba? It's pandemic. Lahat tayo, as much as possible, hindi talaga natin pipiliin na lumabas to take our chances if we're not really into something na important. And that's human nature. We always make sure na dun tayo sa part na safe tayo. Doon tayo sa part na hindi tayo madedehado. Yung hindi tayo malalagay sa alanganin pala. Yun yung mas accurate na statement eh. Yung hindi tayo malalagay sa alanganin. And, okay. So, what am I trying to say? Kasi ito yun, guys. there are instances na even though alam na natin sa sarili natin na this work, even though it provides our bread and butter, yeah, that's understandable. This person, what else? The environment. Usually, even though na alam na natin na it gives us loads of stress, we tend to keep him. We tend to keep them. I think I think the main reason behind it, it's because of your familiarity. It's because you've been comfortable in that person, in that work, in that environment. And that's something eh. And then what's funny about this part is, you know that this, let's say this work, this person that you have in your life right now, the environment where you're currently at, it gives you a lot of stress, but you tend to keep them, you tend to stay, pero you complain. Diba? You tend to, like, parang kumbaga sa Tagalog, dumadaing ka madalas. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. Okay? So, Joe, why are we talking about self-preservation then? Now, we are talking about self-preservation because this is gonna be a question that you have to ask yourself. Eh. Is this work still worth keeping? Is this person still worth keeping? Is this environment where I'm currently at worth sticking around? There might be, or there might be some people na magsasabi sa akin na madali para sa'yo sabihin yan, Joe. Parang andali, siguro ikaw yung tipo ng tao na madaling mag-let go, madaling mag-push back. Alam mo yun, I'm easy to go over or get over something. I can't say that I'm that kind of person, and I can't really like confirm or deny if I'm like that. Kasi what's important for me is this. If I'm gonna be stuck in a situation that I know to myself that will eventually deteriorate my inner peace, my mental health, alam mo yun, the focus, alam mo yun, that I have to put into much more important aspect of my life. Seriously, guys, real talk. Okay? Kasi baka may mga magtanong, paano kapag halimbawa sa magkarelasyon? Okay? Lagay natin sa ganung example. Sa ganung, halimbawa sa magkarelasyon, tapos halimbawa may anak kayo, ganun. Generally speaking, well, you really have to, well, exert extra effort. Kasi nga, well, you guys have already kids, or you already have a child to protect and to take care of. But you know, let me ask you this question. Let's say kung ikaw right now, I don't know who needs to hear this. I don't know if I know it's important. I know it's important. We should still normalize giving children a family that's whole, right? That's just an example, okay? But see, let's put it as an example. kaya tumataas yung rate. This is just my observation, ha. Kaya tumataas yung rate ng domestic violence and related family related na abuse. It's because alam na nung isang tao dun sa relationship na yun that it's not healthy anymore. There's already verbal, physical, emotional abuse that's happening. Not to mention potentially physical. Ano sabi ko ba? Physical. Ba yun? Yeah, physical, emotional, verbal, psychological abuse. But they tend to stay. Because, kinalakhan kasi natin na dapat buo pamilya mo. Dapat ayusin nyo yan. Gawin nyo yung lahat para maayos. Dun sa example ko, okay? Pero, guys, okay lang din ba nakalakhan ng isang bata yung ganong klaseng environment? Don't you guys think na if things are not repairable anymore, don't you think, guys, that it's time? Or let's say kung gusto mo lang na, alam mo yun, na bigyan ng matinding lesson para magising sa katotohanan. Let's say yung partner mo or what. You can find other ways. But if it still doesn't work, then that means there's really something wrong. Ibahin natin yung example. So let's say work related, okay? So kung halimbawa your work, yes, gawin nating example kung financially rewarding yung, alam mo yun, yung trabaho na meron ka ngayon. Yes, point taken. You're getting paid. Yep. Hefty amount of money. Yep. Okay. That's good. But at what expense? I mean, I understand that it's pandemic and whatnot. We need source of income. Yes, I totally agree. But it also proves that the pandemic is also at some point affecting, alam mo yun, the way we deal with stress, the way we deal with the way right now that we value, alam mo yun, yung self-preservation. Again, we will go back with that eh. Kasi no matter how much you're being paid, if you know to yourself that, alam mo yun, you don't feel like you are into it eh. Yung parang tipong dumadating ka sa punto na you are dragging yourself. You're just dragging yourself to work every now and then. And that's something. Kahit sabihin mong yung deepest why mo is, let's say, your family, yourself, your career growth or whatnot, you have kids, okay, point taken. Those are valid points. Don't get me wrong. But still, guys, we have to understand that how can we function well in the task, and how can we focus ourselves into being productive if we are not really 100% into doing it? Diba? I hope, guys, that I'm making sense. And I don't know who needs to hear this. Pero guys, hindi naman masama kasi na hindi naman masama na isipin din natin yung well-being natin. Another example, alright? Alam mo yun, practicing self-preservation is also like this. Let's say if you have a family member na sobrang nang nagiging toxic, alam mo yun, na kahit gaano mo nakatagal kasama yung tao, alam mo yun, lahat na ng adjustments, ginawa mo na. Lahat na ng bagay na the support that they need, alam mo yun, you know to yourself na hindi ka nagkulang. But still, they are being, they are continuously starting to be the source of your stress, which most of the time drains the energy out of you. And once na na-draining energy mo because of the stress, alam mo yun, you will allot more time to, alam mo yun, hindi pong paglalaanan mo yung kumbinsin yung sarili mo na you still have to do this. Parang alam mo yun, imbes na ilaan mo yung imbes na ilaan mo yung energy mo sa mga iba pang bagay na, alam mo yun, una makakapagbigay ng, alam mo yun, ng satisfaction and ng, that can provide genuine happiness into you as a person. That should speak enough volume. And it's also a wake-up call kasi, guys, hindi masama na in order for you to save yourself or to preserve you as a person, your well-being, physically, emotionally, mentally, alam mo yun, it's not bad. It's not too bad to think of yourself. Kasi at the end of the day, again, you have to make sure that no matter what happens, you are 110% ready to face what the world will throw at you anytime. Kasi you may never know. You don't want to be caught off guard. Na tipong vulnerable ka kapag, let's say, something came up and you are vulnerable kasi you know to yourself na you don't have the enough energy in order to alam mo yun, to fight back, to get through that specific that specific roadblock. It will constantly drain you. It will constantly drain you in every aspect of you. And you don't want to be in that boat. Because that boat is going to sink anytime. I know you might say na, then why not find a distraction? You may want to find a way to distress. Yes, I totally agree. There are a lot of ways. I don't know what works for you guys, but yes, I totally agree with that. But that's just a temporary fix. No matter how strong you are, no matter how tough you are, there will be a point. Trust me, guys. Trust me. By just looking back at my own personal experience before, alam mo yun, it takes a lot of courage for you to think of yourself. And once you start doing that, trust me, it will. I know it's not gonna be easy. There's nothing in this life that's easy. Trust me. Nothing in this life is easy. But no one is telling you that it is not doable. As long as you have the willingness, as long as you have this, the initiative, you have this courage to move forward. That's it. I mean, self-preservation, again, it all starts from within. You have to decide if you really want to be better, if you really want to preserve yourself, to alam mo yun, to prevent any harm. Again, in order to prevent any destruction, all right, in any part or in any aspect of your life, then you have to decide when are you gonna start. So once you figure out when, the house will follow. And deep down, you already have it deep inside you. You just can't decide. And I don't know who needs to hear this. Friend, T, Kuis, Lods, whatever it is that you are going through right now, maybe this message is for you. Whatever it is that, that causes you stress, I know you're tired. I know you're drained. So drained. I know you're exhausted. You have been trying to rest in order for you not to quit. But you know to yourself that no matter how much you rest and keep on moving forward, if you stay in that with that person, with that, let's say, work, with that environment, sabi nga ni Einstein, don't expect a different result by doing the same things over and over again. That doesn't make sense. Right? So yun. Ayun yun eh. It has to start. It has to start from you. If you really want to save yourself from being broken, if you really want to save yourself from being exhausted, from the burnout, from the depression, anxiety, you have to decide. That's what you really have to do. Ask help. There's no harm with, asking help with other people. If you think that you can't take it anymore, if you can take it alone, you may want to find someone who you trust. Right? Lalo pa ngayon, guys, pandemic. Trust me. So yun. That's all for me. Guys, time check is 3:49 a.m. no ng Tuesday morning. Alam mo yun, I'm just gonna leave you with something. Ang ganda kasi nung quote na yun sa Spider-Man trilogy. Yung Tobey Maguire. The greatest battle are always within. You can get help from external source, but at the end of the day, the greatest battle can always be won within. So there. It's 3:51 na. 3:51 a.m. Time check. Oras sa buong Pilipinas. So again, this has been your host. This is Joe. And I'll see you guys around. Thank you so much. Love lots.